G'day, Steve Morgan here, Fishing Monthly Magazine's Mid-North Coast of New South Wales with Dayne Taylor from North Coast Boating Centre. And we've tested a few boats before with Dayne, particularly the Formosa brand. It's got a new terminology, Formosa, of course, plate boats built in southeast Queensland. Tell us about SRT, what it means.
Yeah, so Formosa, they've simplified their range. They've brought the Sea Rod and the Tomahawk, all the great features of both, put them together in one simply recognisable SRT, and that's what we have.
That's it. So they've taken all the names, just made an acronym of them. So if you're looking at some of the old Sea Rod boats, it might be the Sea Rods or the Tomahawks. They're all called the SRTs now. So you guys at North Coast Boating Centre, you're pretty proud of the Formosas you put together. You've got some nice ones sitting in your yard there. Take us through this boat here you've put together for a customer.
Yeah, we do. We love them. They're, like you said, Australian made, so you're getting a tough boat. This boat here, it's the baby of the fleet. It's the 490 side console, probably the entry level, so to speak. It's a classic, so it has a timber plywood floor, but we have spec'd it up with a lot of options and a lot of electronics to test here today. It's probably a good all-round boat. Like it really is. It's the smallest, but it's got a lot of big features.
Yeah, it comes on the single axle Dunby trailer here. This to me is a boat that you can throw in here. We're on the Kalang River at the moment. If it's a good day, you can take it outside. If the bass are biting at Glenbourne, you can go there. So freshwater, estuary, saltwater, you really can do everything in this hull, can't you?
You sure can, yeah. You nailed it. Going offshore, chasing mackerel, snapper locally would be great. Even towing this thing up Northern Territory, this would suit the guy that wants to stay here on the coast and then once a year go for that big trip up chasing barra. It's safe, it's strong, it's going to last you forever.
Now, some of the features that you mightn't be able to see on the video here, the water ballasting system. I noticed this one has got it in. Run us through the quad ballast system it has in there.
Yeah, so this boat has got the quad 4. It is an option. Basically, those chambers fill up with water at rest. It creates a lot more stability, and under power, they drain out and you cruise along again. So it's a good option to have in a boat that you want to take offshore.
And let's start from the back and move forward. This is powered by the 90 horsepower Suzuki. Run us through that motor. It's a stalwart in their range, isn't it?
It is, yeah. That 70 to 100 horsepower is a really good. It's a really good engine for Suzuki. They are rated to a 115. We've put the 90 on it today. It's makes a good price point. It's well powered, but yeah, they can be rated to a 115. So, yeah.
This rig you've got here, it's got some of the fruit that I think nearly every fisherman that looks at these boats are going to want. It's got the Garmin fish finder and it's got the Minn Kota electric. I think they're basically essentials and they shouldn't be options, but that helps put the price of that package up, doesn't it? These boats, I was looking at your sheets before, started around that $35,000 mark for a package, but with all the fruit that you've got on and the nice paint and the transom doors, comes in at the high 40s, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So you can jump into one of these with a 70 horsepower basic trailer, basic boat for about 35 grand. You do want a lot of specs. So, not many people would buy a basic boat these days. You want all those features. You want to be able to use this boat in all different scenarios, and you're probably looking at 45 grand for a boat like we've got today.
Now, the guys at North Coast Boating Centre, of course, have all of the expertise. Dayne himself, keen fisherman, he can help you find the Minn Kota, the sounders. The world's your oyster when it comes to watching in these boats out. And if you've got some money to spend, this man can definitely help you do it. We're going to put this in the water today. You haven't had it on the water yet, so it's a bit of a water test for you, and it's a bit of an introduction to us for the classic 490 SRT hull. So we've had the boat in the water now for a little bit, had a bit of a play around, and remember this is the first time this has hit the water, Dayne. There's a couple of little adjustments we're going to make. We're going to drop that motor down a peg maybe, but overall a really efficient rig and really stable on the water, isn't it?
It sure is. It's literally the first time it's been on the water this morning, and it's a proper test. So yeah, we're going to have to go back and drop the motor down. It's a bit high, a bit of cavitation there, but stability, it's got all the right Formosa traits. It's stable. It's a great little boat so far. Yeah,
we're going to run through the economy a little bit later on, but a really economical hull. What sort of capacity is the fuel tank underfloor?
It's got an 80 litre underfloor tank. You can spec them up and go the next size up if you want to do big long runs up in big rivers up north, but at the moment it's 80 litres. So
what I wanted to go through is I want you to take me through all of the things that you've done to take this boat above spec. So for 35 grand you can get into this package, but we've already talked about the Suzuki. It's up to a 90 horsepower now. What other things have you ticked on the order list?
Yeah, so we've got the 90 horsepower Suzuki. We've got on the painted sides, they're blue. We've got the grey insides, which is not spec. We've gone the quad 4 water ballast, the transom door, the bait board, the transom mounted live well, the kill tank. We've gone seat positions. We've gone welded rod holders. We've got the brand new Garmin 95 SV ultra high definition. Yeah. Released today. First one in the shop. We've got the Minn Kota, the 54-pound Minn Kota iPilot to rover. And look, the storage in this thing, you can fit a 70-litre esky up under the front deck or a electric fridge. We've got battery storage underfloor, plenty of gunnel storage. It's really a spec'd up boat, this one.
Well, you say it's a spec'd up boat, but I think it hasn't got anything that a normal fisherman wouldn't want. So if you looked at these boats and you say, it's a $35,000 boat, it's really a closer to $50,000 boat when you've got all the things you're going to want, because you're going to buy the boat, but then you're going to want to put a sounder in there. And this is a great boat. This can fit a 12-inch or, as you say, two 10-inches side by side in there. So by the time you put all those fisherman-friendly options in there, that's the ballpark. And you know what? For a fitted out, kitted out plate boat, under 50 grand isn't a bad buy.
Exactly right. This, as tested, we're looking at 46,990, and it comes with electric motor, the Garmins, the 90, all these optional extras. It is ready to go at 46 grand, so it's under 50.
Awesome. Well, we've been doing this boat test this morning. I've seen some awesome oyster racks up around the quarter there, so we're going to go and try and catch a fish now and come back to you with some performance stats. So a real test of a fishing boat, though, is what it's like when it's at rest. And this Formosa has a beam of nearly 2.5 metres, which means both Dayne and I can stand up the front here. Plenty of room for fishing and catching the fish that you're chasing in your part of the world. So there you go, we've enjoyed a great morning of boating on the river here, and then a little bit of fishing as well. Dayne catches a few fish just to prove that this Formosa has the mojo that you need when you're going fishing anywhere in Australia. And I can see a boat like this being practical anywhere from Cape York down to Victoria. It's a beamy, stable plate boat, and for the price you can get into these for, it's one of the cheapest plate boats you're going to get into Australia-wide. Nearly 2.5 metres of beam means that two guys can fish up the front, no worries at all, and if you want to add another guy up the back, there's 3 people fishing in this 4.9 metre boat in real comfort. Because it's got that high raised foredeck, there's a lot of storage space under the front, but you can fit up to a 70-litre fridge, freezer or esky under that front deck there, and that's great for a long weekend away. Economy-wise, this thing is really frugal. That 90 Suzuki gets 3.5 kilometres per litre at 4,500 RPM, which is the most economical speed to go. 43 kilometres an hour. If you hit the hammers and go 6,000 RPM, it goes 62 kilometres an hour, but that efficiency drops, so it's nearly twice as efficient at the most economical cruising speed. I really like the newly designed SRT consoles. These things can fit either a single 12-inch sounder or two 10-inches, and if you move this little Suzuki gauge down to the bottom, you can fit that pair of sounders in there, which a lot of fishermen like nowadays. I also like the fact that there are places that are sheltered from the wind and rain to put your mobile phone, your keys, your wallet, and of course your sunglasses up here. There are plenty of places where you can put your little knickknacks so they don't blow over the edge. A lot of people don't think about that when they're designing a console. This active transom also, it's quite unique. The active transom, this has got the optional transom door fitted into it that you can walk in and out. Makes it really easy to get in and out of that boat when you combine it with that aluminium ladder at the back. When you're on the trailer, often boats, this is a high-sided boat, are quite difficult to get onto when you're on the trailer. So you can get in and out through that active transom quite easily. But this little setup here, it's got the bait board on top, but underneath, it's got a section where the batteries sit underneath. So it's quite a nicely built, looks like it's out of some sort of king board. And then underneath, you can have a dual battery setup underneath where the batteries sit under and out of the road, whereas they're still accessible. They're not buried way down in the ditch. Of course, on the other side, we have the live well here, which is Venturi filled and keeps your liveys alive all day. But overall, that whole transom design, built with the fisherman and boater in mind, even things like the little isolation switch being accessible straight from the outside, you don't have to go digging for it. That's pretty cool. So for $35,000, you can put a boat motor trailer like this on the water, but we reckon for just under $50,000, like this one set up, you can put together a fishing boat of a lifetime. So make sure you go to northcoastboatingcentre.com and you can check out this, and there are other Formosas in stock. But if you want to go to Formosa's main website, they've got a really cool build your boat feature on there, and you can set up a Formosa of your dreams from the comfort of your lounge room.